What's up, guys? Python here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a preview of the series featuring the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. I did this for the Penguins, of course, and pretty much, if you didn't watch that video, all this is going to be is just looking at the team's regular season matchups. I know regular season doesn't necessarily mean too much, but it could in terms of the team's play styles. We're going to just analytically break everything down, and I'm going to talk about what the Rangers, in my opinion, need to do to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Before we dive into this, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. But yeah, let's just jump into this. So, like I said, we're going to be looking at the numbers in terms of what the teams have been doing in the playoffs and all the regular season matchups. So, let's just look at the playoffs real quick. So I didn't even look at any of the numbers. This is just me going into it, looking. So goals for per game. The New York Rangers were at a 4 goals per game. Obviously, goals weren't that difficult actually for the Rangers. The Rangers didn't have too hard of a time scoring against the Penguins at times. Yeah, you're playing Louis Domingue. Yeah, you're playing Tristan Jarry on a broken ankle, was it, or a broken foot? But the Rangers were able to put the puck behind Pittsburgh's net. Even at times when the Penguins were playing a sound defensive game, the Rangers still found a way to score. And for Carolina, they are 6th out of playoff teams at a 3.43 goals for per game. So, yeah, you're looking at a scenario where the Rangers have the advantage there. Goals against, not looking too hot. 4.14. The Rangers were awful defensively. I don't know what the number would be if you took away games 3 and 4, but obviously those two games definitely had an impact on why this number is so high. Where with Carolina, they are sitting here nice and pretty below 3 at a 2.86. So that is something that is a little deceiving with the goals for per game for the Rangers. Is it's going to be hard to score against Carolina. They are a heavy defensive team. They don't, in my opinion, have the best goaltending in the world, but their defense is so good that it doesn't matter who's in goal for them, as we saw in the Delchovic when he goes from Carolina to Detroit. So it's not going to make too big of a difference there, at least I think. Power play percentage, Rangers sitting 3rd, nice and good there with a 31.6%. Carolina sitting all the way here, 13.9. Something that was an Achilles heel for the Rangers in this series against the Penguins. Penalty kill sitting all the way down here, 11th at 73.9. The Rangers on the penalty kill, that it was just a nightmare. Yeah, it got better at the end when Tyler Mott came back, but the Rangers need to be better on the penalty kill. And at the same time, though, Carolina's power play isn't as good, so that is something to help the Rangers out there. You're playing a weaker power play. And for Carolina's penalty kill, they're sitting 8th, 79.3. So not too big of a difference. So the Rangers' power play could still be somewhat effective. I'd like to see it be a bit better to jumpstart the series, because I think that their power play took a bit to get going. They didn't show up for a couple games. The Rangers have to get going early, and that's another thing. You have to win one of these 2 games on the road to start the series if you want a chance as the Rangers. You can't go down 0-2. You can't lose 2 on the road like you did against Pittsburgh, especially when you now only have 3 home games versus 4 in the series. If, of course, this goes the distance, you have to steal 1 on the road here. In terms of previous matchups, so their first meeting was January 21st, and this was a 6-3 Carolina win, as you could see. Honestly, I'm not really remembering too many things about this game just because of how far off in the rearview mirror it is for me. But I'm trying to think. But here, it's something, like I said, that killed the Rangers in the Pittsburgh series. The penalty kill. And look at that. Vinny Trocheck on the power play. Tony DeAngelo, they went 2 for 2 on the power play. You cannot allow these teams to get on the power play. You can't take these dumb penalties too. That is another thing that the Rangers did way too much against Pittsburgh, especially in Game 7. Can't do it. I know it's, easier said than done, but they just can't do it. And I know Carolina doesn't have as strong of a power play, but it is something that killed them. Georgiev was in net, I believe. Might have been. I don't know if this was a back-to-back or not, but regardless, the Rangers did not play a strong game here at all. And to be honest, like I said, I don't even really remember what went on in this game other than them pretty much getting held and then given the false hope that they might come back. And Greg McKegg scored, so I guess that's memorable. The next meeting then wasn't until March 20th, so that was right before the trade deadline. So Frank Vatrano, this was when he scored his first goal with the Rangers. I do remember that. This was the game after the Islander one, I believe so. And this is where Georgiev just absolutely stood on his head. This is what the Rangers are going to need. The Rangers, I realize you couldn't even see the number there, but the Rangers need better goaltending this series. And I know, Shesterkin was great. Pretty much, he was great the majority of the series against Pittsburgh. But if the Rangers want to win this series, they are going to have Igor steal them 1 or 2 games in this series. It's just going to have to be that way. And it's because of how tight the Canes are defensively. Kreider scored his 41st of the year in this game. Vatrano, he scored the empty netter, I believe it was for him. But Georgiev gets a shutout, and the Rangers played one of their worst defensive games ever. And they also did nothing offensively. So, yeah, they need to find a way to break through the neutral zone because Carolina just likes to clog that up. Next meeting, the Rangers actually looked pretty solid, in my opinion. This was April 12th, a 4-2 loss, and Freddie was in net. I think it's going to be Ronta, though, in goal, but this was a game where the Rangers actually looked pretty solid, and they had a couple of costly things. I think that this was where Svechnikov scored that weird goal. I don't remember if it was this one or the last game, but Svechnikov, I think, scored a weird goal in this one. And the Rangers just had a couple of unlucky breaks in this game. But overall, only limiting them to 25 shots. They got 30 shots. They outshot them. Power play, though, didn't generate anything. That is something that killed them. When the Rangers don't convert on the power play, they are most likely going to lose. They have to start converting on these power play opportunities. And yeah, overall, not much else to say. But this game, I definitely do remember because Peter Kochetkov was in net for Carolina. And this game, the Rangers easily could have had this one had Panarin and Kopp not had to leave the game early. Both of them ended up having to leave because of injuries, and the Rangers ended up losing because of it. They played actually a pretty solid game, a really good game in the first period, from what I remember at least. They played a good first period. Second period, because they lost those guys, everything just spiraled out of control, and the Rangers ended up losing this one. They made it close, though, but the Rangers, like I said, they're going to need to convert on power plays because, again, 0-4. And it's not like Carolina's penalty kill has been that good in the postseason. If you could get to their penalty kill and score on the power play here, you are putting yourself in a prime position. Like I said, Igor is going to have to steal a game or two. He's just going to have to because Carolina is just so good defensively, and you're probably looking at a scenario where the Rangers are going to have to try to win these games 3-2, 3-1, maybe even get some shutouts in there. It's not going to be easy, but I don't know. I don't even know what really to say. This is not going to be an easy series for the Rangers, especially with the way they played most of the series against Pittsburgh. I hope I'm wrong and they come out just absolutely slaughtering them, but the key is going to be starting off the series better. You can't do this come from behind thing all year long and expect it to work. You just can't do it. I'd like to see them go out there and make a statement and go out and win game 1 or game 2. You win both, even freaking better if you somehow can. But they need to at least split the road games to start the series. You have to do it. And I would be happy if the Rangers at least put up a fight, given the way they've played against Carolina all year, given the bubble series. I think that this is going to be a real test. All I ask is that they put up a fight, though, in the series. And my opinion, it is doable, like I said, but the Rangers are going to have to play like they did in games 5 and 6. So it's going to be tough, but I'm hoping that they could come through. But this was a little all over the place. I don't even know really what else to say. But yeah, it's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans. And I will see you in the next one. Let's go Rangers, baby.